Hello everybody, Paul here. Today I'm going to be doing a shave where I'm comparing the 3 premium bulb shaped silver tip knots. I'm going to be comparing the Thader, and the Thader I'm going to be using today is a 49125-3. This is a 28mm silver tip knot, and of course it's obviously bulb shaped. I'm going to be also comparing the Savile Row. This is a 3126. This is a 26mm silver tip knot. And lastly, I'm going to be using the Lord Randall silver tip bulb shaped knot. The Lord Randall is 24mm. For my soap, I'm going to be using How to Grow a Mustache Frostbite. Been wanting to try that soap. I love menthol, so this is their menthol offering, and I like the Cavendish, so I decided to go ahead and give this one a try. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is for each pass I'm going to be using a different brush. I'll load the brush for about 30 seconds. I'll do the pass, and then we'll reload the next brush, and so on and so on. I'm going to be using for my razors Merkur 34G. This is a very dependable, easy to use razor. And I have loaded in there a Timor blade. So we'll go ahead and get going. I've had the brushes all soaking, and I'm going to go ahead and load the soap here. Give it a good 30-second loading or so. And I'm just basically swirling the brush on the puck. This is the large puck of How to Grow a Mustache, which I like quite a bit. It makes it easy to load these larger brushes. Okay, that's about 30 seconds or so. And we'll go ahead and just rinse the puck off. And we'll go ahead and wet my face, and we'll go ahead and start loading the face lathering. So this Thader brush is very soft. It's got very nice soft tips, but because of the bulb shape, it makes it gives it a little bit more backbone. At least it feels like it has more backbone, in my opinion, compared to like a fan-shaped brush. And these Thader bulb-shaped knots are very dense. Although this did bloom a little bit, it's not a real big bloomer. But even though it's real dense, it is not a lather hog. I don't find it to be particularly hoggy. It does release the lather quite nicely, and it really feels great on the face. Because of the backbone, it has a nice scrub, but the scrub is not offensive in any way because the tips are very nice and soft. Okay, so there we go. Lather it up for the first pass, and we'll go ahead and give it a whirl. I always like using this Merkur when I want kind of an easy, worry-free shave. This razor is really easy to use. It's comfortable in the hand, and it gives a nice, smooth, comfortable shave. So here we go. Next up is the Savile Row. And even though this brush is 26mm, and it's pretty dense, this thing blooms like crazy. After I used the Savile Row the first time, the knot bloomed to a to almost look like a 30mm knot, even though it's 26mm. This knot looks much larger than even the 28mm Thader when you put them side by side. So we'll go ahead and start loading this one. It holds a ton of water, and the other nice thing about this brush is the heat retention on this brush is really nice. So give it a good 30-second loading or so. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to puff off again with the hot water. And we'll go ahead and go. Now, this brush does not quite have the density as the Thader. It's every bit as soft. The backbone is good. And this brush, as you can see, just really is, even though it's a 26mm brush, it's really big. It lathers great, and this thing really performs awesome. It releases lather perfectly. It has just the right amount of backbone, so you feel like you're really working the lather into your whiskers. But the tips are very nice and soft. So just really an awesome brush. So there you go, there's the Savile Row. And as you can see, it fans out a little bit more than the Thader, and I think that's mainly because it's not quite as densely packed, but it's plenty dense and does a great job. Very comfortable, awesome brush. So there we go, there's number 2, and we'll go ahead and do our second pass. The How to Grow a Mustache Frostbite soap has a nice menthol tingle to it. Which I really enjoy. The menthol is really great for winter or for summertime here in Arizona when it's hotter than crazy, hotter than heck outside. And just feels really great in the summertime. Very refreshing in the morning to wake up and use that mentholated soap. So, alright. Next up is the Lord Randall. This is the smallest of the brushes. This is a 24mm silver tip knot. And we'll go ahead and start loading it about 30 seconds. The interesting thing about this brush is that when this brush dries off, the tips still remain very, very soft, which is surprising. Some of the brushes, as they dry, they'll get a little crunchy, I guess it would be a way to describe it. But this one remains really soft. Now, one downside about this brush, and it's only a minor issue, is that when I first got this had a really distinct chemical odor to it, which I described in my initial video I did with this brush. It took several uses of this brush to get that smell out of the knot. I don't know, it's not an animal smell. I believe it's probably something that they were treating the brushes with, and it may be why they are so soft. They're treated with some kind of process, but I don't know for sure. But anyways, I've used it several times. And that smell's pretty much gone now, and the tips are remaining nice and soft. So we'll go ahead and just wet my face. And we'll go ahead and lather. So again, very, very soft brush. Not as dense as the Thader. Probably just about as dense as the Savile Row. Very similar in density to that brush. It does not bloom as much as the Savile Row, so I don't think there is as much hair packed into it. This brush is in no way floppy, and with my extensive usage of the brush, I find it to be very easy to use. The flow through is great. The tips are, again, nice and soft, and the backbone is good. So, I'm going to wet this a little bit. And again, as you can see, it whips up lather nicely. This is the smallest of the three brushes. Maybe a little easier to maneuver around the face just because of its size. You're not as apt to get lather all over the place. Really a great brush. It is the least expensive of the three. However, it is also the smallest of the three. It is in no way small. 24 millimeters is plenty big to get the job done, and I would not consider 24 millimeters to be a small brush by any stretch of the imagination. There you go. Again, really nice lather. That soap really lathers great. So go ahead and do our third pass. This is the third shave on this Timor blade, and it's still feeling nice and smooth. I really like those blades. They seem to work really well for me. But as you all know, blades are a real individual thing. You really have to, trial a lot of them to find out what works best for you, because obviously what works good for me may not work good for anybody else but me. But the Timor really works great, and I like those blades, and I'll probably be getting some more of those. So, that Timor blade, those Timor blades, I got a 5 or 10 pack of them at Lubinoff's Barber Supply here in Phoenix. Just to try them out, but I think when those run out, I'll probably get some more. So there you go. I'm going to finish the shave off today with, this is a How to Grow a Mustache Alfin aftershave, and on the website there's no description of the notes in here. It does have a nice smell. It does say if you like Alt Innsbruck, you'll like this one. It has alcohol, menthol, and it also has some glycerin, I think, and alum. So I expect that this is going to have a little bit of a moisturizing effect, and it should have a sort of a healing effect on the skin because of the alum. It does have some resemblance to Alt Innsbruck. It's not exactly the same. The menthol in here smell is really strong, and it really has a nice menthol kick. So I'm just, on first usage, I'm really liking that. So there you go. So I'm just going to rinse these brushes off real quick, and I'll show you what they look like after they've been lathered, and I'll kind of give you my final thoughts on the brushes. So I'm just going to run them on a towel here, fluff them up a little bit so you can kind of see what they look like side by side. Get all the soap out of them. Okay, fade all the soap out. Okay, let's just give them a good little scrub on the towel here, a little fluff up on the towel just to dry them off, and then you can kind of see what they look like after they've sort of bloomed out after a shave. Okay, so there's a 28mm Thader post shave, and there is a 26mm Savile Row. As you can see, the Savile Row, even though it's a smaller knot, looks like it's much larger. Well, that maybe not much larger, but it looks larger than the Thader, and it does have a bigger bloom. There you go. There's those two. And then, just for comparison, there's the Lord Randall, right there. And we'll compare it to the Savile Row. And we'll compare it to the Thader. Oh. There you go. So, in summary, these are all great premium silver tip brushes. I think you know, you definitely get your money's worth in any of these brushes. They're all great. Which one is my favorite? Well, I think I really love the handle of this one, but I'd have to say overall, so far I'm really enjoying the Savile Row. It's really hard to pick between all three of these. These are all three awesome brushes. You can't go wrong with any of them. They're all really, whoops, they're all really super good. And you really get your money's worth. Probably if you got a 24mm Savile Row, it's probably going to bloom out and be, you know, like what most people would be used to for a 26 or 28mm brush. So you could probably save some money that way. But really, great brush for the money. Classic handle design, and probably my favorite of the three. But just by a hair. I love all three of these brushes. Got no complaints with any of them. And I actually like the handle of this one best. I think that is just the coolest looking handle. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, comment below. I'll be sure to try and answer them as soon as I can. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.